Hook. You ever have one of those moments where your entire life feels like it's about to unravel in just a few seconds? When something so outrageous happens, you can't believe it's real. That was me the day I opened my garage door and saw flashing police lights because my HOA neighbor, let's call her Karen, called 911 on me, screaming that I stole the car she had just bought. Except the thing is, the car was mine. I had worked for years to get it. And that moment, well, it nearly ruined me. But also ended up teaching me something that changed my life forever. It started like any other Saturday morning. I had been living in my little HOA governed neighborhood for just over a year. I bought the house after saving every penny, taking double shifts, and cutting out every luxury, just so I could finally have a place I could call mine. And along with the house, I had one dream: owning a car that symbolized all that hard work. For me, that was a deep blue 2020 Lexus IS. Sleek, clean, and more importantly, it was fully paid off. No loans, no strings, just mine. That morning, I was in good spirits. I brewed some coffee, walked out in my slippers, and pressed the garage door opener. The garage slowly lifted, letting in the golden rays of morning sunlight. There it was, my pride and joy, gleaming like it belonged in a showroom. But before I could even take a sip of my coffee, I heard a sharp, shrill voice cutting across the air. "Nullu, hat do you think you're doing?" I turned and saw her. Karen, the self-appointed queen of our HOA, with her arms crossed and a glare sharp enough to cut glass. She stormed across the street like she owned the place. "That's my car!" she screamed, pointing at my Lexus like it had personally betrayed her. I thought she was joking at first. Maybe she was confusing it with someone else's. But no, she doubled down. "You stole it! I just bought that car yesterday! And you've hidden it in your garage! Oh, you are going to jail for this." I laughed nervously, trying to defuse it. No. This is my car. I've had it for almost a year. Look, I've got the title inside." But she wouldn't listen. Her voice only grew louder, and suddenly, my quiet Saturday morning turned into a circus. Neighbors started peeking out from behind curtains. A jogger slowed down to see what was happening. And then, like some cruel twist of fate, I heard sirens. Karen had called 911. Within minutes, 2 squad cars pulled up, lights flashing. My heart sank. All because my neighbor couldn't mind her own business. When the officers stepped out, Karen rushed toward them, practically shrieking, "There he is! He stole my car! Arrest him right now." The officers glanced at me, then at the Lexus. My stomach knotted as I realized this wasn't going to be simple. Standing there with police lights bouncing off the garage walls, I felt humiliated. My neighbors whispered from across lawns. My dream car, the one I sacrificed so much for, was now the center of a public spectacle. "Sir, step away from the vehicle," one officer instructed. His tone wasn't hostile, but it wasn't warm either. I raised my hands slightly, heart racing. "Officers, this is my car. I can prove it. The paperwork is inside." Karen butted in, practically foaming at the mouth. "Don't believe him. He's lying. I just wired money for that car online. This thief probably hacked my account or followed me home. That's my Lexus." Her words hit me like stones. "Thief. Liar." The shame was unbearable, even though I knew the truth. The officers looked between us, clearly unsure. "Sir, do you have proof of ownership readily available?" I nodded quickly, rushing inside to grab my folder, the one with all my important documents. My hands shook as I pulled out the title and insurance, bringing them back outside. But even as I handed them over, Karen shouted again,
"Those could be fake."
"He probably printed those off his computer." At that point, I felt something inside me snap. I had worked too hard, bled, sweated, and cried for everything I had, to let someone drag my name through the mud. I turned, voice cracking but firm. "Why? Why do you think you can do this to me? Do you think because you're louder, you're right? Do you think because you run the HOA, you own everyone's lives?" For the first time, Karen faltered. Her face flushed, but she had no real answer. The officers examined my documents carefully. One of them even radioed in my van number to confirm. After a tense 5 minutes that felt like hours, they finally looked at Karen. "Mom, this vehicle is registered to him. There's no evidence of theft here." Silence fell. Karen's jaw dropped. She stammered something about a mix-up. But the damage was done. Everyone had heard her accusations. Everyone had seen her try to ruin me. The officers gave her a warning about filing false police reports. As they left, one of them turned to me with a small nod. "You're good, sir. Sorry about the inconvenience." But it wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a wound. I stood there, in front of everyone, feeling exposed and shaken. That night, sitting alone in my living room, I almost broke down. All because someone decided my hard-earned success couldn't possibly belong to me. But here's the thing, instead of letting that moment crush me, I let it light a fire. I started attending HOA meetings. I started documenting every interaction. I stopped being silent when I saw unfairness, whether it was directed at me or someone else, because the truth is, there will always be people like Karen. People who can't stand to see others succeed. People who thrive on control and chaos. But we get to choose how we respond, and I chose not to let her take my peace. Closing message. So if you've ever been accused of something you didn't do, if you've ever had someone try to drag your name through the dirt just because of their own bitterness, remember this: the truth has power. It may take time. It may come with embarrassment or pain or nights where you want to give up. But in the end, standing in your truth will always be stronger than their lies. And as for me, well, my Lexus is still sitting pretty in my garage. And every time I see it, I don't just see a car. I see proof that no one, not even a Karen with a phone, can take away what I've worked for.